Hi everyone, Scrappy Kathy here with today's entry, or this month's entry, into the whole Get in Shape series. This is a series sponsored by Miranda Weber, and the shape that she has come up with, has challenged us with this month, is bubbles. So I have a few bubble stamps, and I have a few stamps that kind of evoke the mood of bubbles, and I'm going to do a lot of stamping on my background, and that's where the bubbles will come in. I'm doing for the design. I'm using this design, which is Keely's birthday lift at Scrap Squad. Keely is one of the amazing staff members who helps select and does examples for all of the scrap lifts there. And gosh, Keely and I have been scrapping together for a very long time. Anyway, this is a great lift that she's chosen. I can see that they used the stamps that went with this collection that I'm using, which is Wildflower and Honey by Vicki Boutin. But, and I could have used the stamps, but I didn't want to take up that much space, so I fussy cut some flowers, a floral pattern paper to get the same kind of leaves. And I kind of didn't want the leaf. I didn't want to stamp the leaves because I'm stamping so much other stuff. Anyway, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So this is the original. My version is going to have photos of Ava at homecoming. And I really love doing the border like this because when I overlay them on my word processor, it's clear. The matte around the photo is clear, and you see the background of the other photo shining through. I just think it's gorgeous. So I'm using a craft background. I'm going to stamp in black. I have miscellaneous and assorted embellishments from probably several different Vicki Boutin collections, including Wildflower and Honey. And the stamps come from, this is a Vicki Boutin stamp, that bubble stamp, and this one that says enjoy is also a Vicki Boutin stamp from this stamp set, which I believe is from Wildflower and Honey, maybe Fernwood. I don't know. It doesn't say back there, and I'm kind of stupid. It's not Fernwood because Fernwood had totally different stamps. It has to be Wildflower and Honey. Okay, so in the original, there's kind of a round shape that's sort of hinted at. And I'm going to draw a very faint pencil line circle here. Let me kind of get this out of the way. I'm going to put I think that's where I want that. I'm going to put that right there and bring it down. And I guess I want it a little bit over to the right. And I'm going to do this. I'm going to let that be a guide for stamping. It's not going to be totally inside. There will be some kind of sneaking out over the outside of it, but it'll hint, hopefully at the end of it all, it'll hint at the idea of a circle. So I'm going to use some of these really this stamp. Let's see, make it go like so. That's great. And then I'm going to put it again around here. And then I will do it again. And I'm not going to care whether this gets covered up a lot. I'll kind of see it blends nicely there. So I'm going to put that aside. I'm going to use this one right now. Oops. Okay. I'm just going to do that over on the other side there. Okay, not happy with the way that stamp stamped. Okay, so what I've used, I'm going to put the ones that I've used over here. I've got the Enjoy. This is, well, let's use the big bubble stamp. And then I have a small bubble stamp. We'll do this. Kind of like so. And here, go like that. And there. I'm not going to do any more of that one, but it's got a big, kind of a big footprint. I'm going to do this little one that has some stars and bubbles in it. It's kind of a cute one. It almost looks Christmassy. Okay, and I have kind of a basket weave, sort of. And now I'm going to actually go back over with this one to kind of go in between there and to kind of fill out where in some areas where it looks a little sparse. And then I'll go in with this kind of just dark dots. Most of these other dots are open circles. That's not so much bubbles. Here's the actual bubble stamp that has the look of the bubbles. So I'm going to kind of put those around. Oh, and y'all know that I've had, I'm kind of rehabbing from shoulder surgery. And this, reaching over and then stamping this, like inking up the stamps and then reaching out here and stamping. I'm using my right arm. This hurts. Now, let's see just kind of how much of that's going to get covered up. Okay, it's going to go like this, and then like so. And like so. I may want to move it over a bit so that I have room for this, and this will kind of overlap over into there. I'm going to put this right here. I'm thinking that's okay, but I need to do something similar down here. And I need a much smaller circle. Let me see. How about, oh my goodness. Okay, how about this? I'm just gonna go like that. And let's see what we can do. How do I want? Who knows? Let's just do this. Okay, that's kind of in a semicircle. Let me get my gum eraser, and I'm going to erase those pencil lines. The gum eraser won't mess with the ink, and it won't tear the paper, and it's much better than the erasers that are on pencils. So let me kind of move all this down, and I'll go around here and erase this. Whoops. That did smear some ink, so it must have still been wet. And this does not bother me a whole lot. I don't have much choice, even if it did bother me. I could quit and start over, or I can figure out how to live with it by embellishing differently. Okay, now let's get this party started. I'm going to try to see. I think this is going to come together quickly. Now that I've got the stamping done. Okay, here we go. There. And the photos go there. I'm going to move it over a little bit. And then this goes there. Okay, and let's put, this is going to cover up some of the stamping. I don't want the whole thing showing. I kind of just want a little peek. There, and kind of lift that, and I'm going to do that and that. I think I'm going to extend it from the floral, go like that. That's not exactly the way that the foliage is done in the original. Where is my other leaf sprig? I cut two big ones and one small one, and I must have dropped it on the floor. Oh my goodness, I don't like that, because it means I have to fussy cut another one. Let me clean things on the table, move things around on the table. Make sure it hadn't been picked up by something else that I took off the table. There are all the stamps I used. I don't need those anymore. And I may come back with that small bubble stamp. Okay, I don't know if I want this. I could put that right there, but that still doesn't solve my problem of the foliage missing. I'll just do it without that and I'll add it later. It kind of is a, okay, let me do this and then gonna use liquid glue. Here. Okay, so that goes there. I'm going to run this down here, and my other fussy cut foliage like this is going to be on top of that and kind of curving down. So we're seeing this little deal, and I'm going to try to figure out how to accent that. She did some little plus sign thingies. I kind of liked that. Let's see if that looks okay with that flower down there. I think it does. I'll put this on there first anyway. There we go. And then this, I think, is all right to go there. I'm looking in my trash can just to see if I accidentally threw it away. And you know, as soon as I stop the video, I'll get up from my chair and it'll be stuck to my elbow or something stupid like that. But there, let's see, the photo isn't parallel to the edges. I'm going to move it. I think that's much better. And this will look better when I have that going down. So now let's do the title. The title's going to come over here. And this title piece, this is a, I don't know where this came from. I think it's Heidi Swap. And it came from a Mind the Scrap kit a long time ago, and I just never used it. And it works for this. I love how she edited these photos. She did that herself. And she normally does not share photos. She doesn't allow photos to be taken. But I think she's grasping the seriousness of the moment. It's her senior year. And okay, so I'm going to make that kind of not straight, because if I tried to get it straight, I'd try all day and it wouldn't happen. Okay, so now let's do this. I'm going to cover this up. Hopefully I don't need it. Do that. That's going to be hard to photograph having something that close to the edge, but we'll try. Okay, so I'm going to put this behind the honeycomb paper. Okay, there. And I can tell you, like, I'm going to go fussy cut. I'll show you the pattern paper. I will fussy cut one of these large sprigs, probably this one, and add that here. And then I'm going to I'm going to find some kind of something to run around here. Let me glue this down. There. And then I need something to form the circle around here. And I don't know what it is. I'm going to step up for a second and look. I have a couple of containers that have miscellaneous stuff. I was thinking I might have something like this that I could line that with, but I don't have the right colors there anyway. And these are the wrong kinds of leaves. Just a bunch of chipboard stuff, but what I'm looking for is a bunch of stuff that's all the same. Okay, I have some ribbons, bows, nothing the right color or the right size or enough of them, so nothing there. Let's look through this other one. I'm wondering if buttons, but again, not enough that are the same. Okay, so I'm going to default to some sort of one of the fallouts of my my roach project is that I had a slew of a basket of ribbons. Probably ribbons I've had. Some of them came from my sewing kit that I had in 1964 through 68 in college, and then from then on it was my sewing kit. Okay, let's see. I have squirrels I can put on here. I have white squirrels that I can color any color I want. I don't want to hide those bubbles. do I want to line this with squirrels? I think that's kind of a silly idea, and I don't think she'd like it. I know that I need to put one on there, and I'm going to use that to cover up the little Instagram handle thingy there. So let me get this little bit of tape on there. It's not coming on there. There it is. Okay. Okay. Not I could do something like hearts there. She did plus signs, and I don't have any plus signs that I can think of that I can put my hands on. So I'm gonna end the video. I'm gonna find something to go there, and I'll maybe even also add it around here. But before I go, I do know that I want more bubbles, just kind of around. So let me get the ink. And I'll add some there and there and here, here, and okay. That's all I'm going to do there. Well, let's do some here. And you know what? Let's just do bubbles to outline it. Don't know why I didn't think of that before. Because I can stamp the bubbles over everything else. And you know what I'm doing is I'm touching the edge of the wood block onto there, and that's not good. So hopefully I can run my fussy cut flowers over that mess. Pretty much I'm going to call it finished, and I thank you for your patience. This has not been a straightforward, easy peasy one, so I appreciate you sticking around. Bye.